I refused to give my dying grandmother her wedding ring back after she gave it to me. My grandmother Ruby had this gorgeous vintage ring from the 1940s, white gold with 3 diamonds. She always said it would go to the first granddaughter who got engaged. Well, that was me last year when my boyfriend proposed. Ruby was so happy when she slipped it off her finger and put it on mine. She kept saying how perfect it looked and how my grandfather would have loved seeing me wear it. I wore it every day for 8 months. It became part of me. Then Ruby got sick, really sick. Cancer came back for the 3rd time and the doctor said maybe 6 weeks. The whole family was devastated. But here's where it gets messy. My Aunt Carol started visiting more often. She'd never cared much about Ruby before, but suddenly she's there every other day with flowers and homemade soup. I thought it was sweet until I overheard her on the phone outside Ruby's hospital room. She was talking to someone about Ruby's jewelry collection, specifically about that ring. Carol was saying how it was worth at least $15,000 and how it really should stay in the direct family line, meaning her daughter Emma, not me. I felt sick. This woman was literally planning Ruby's estate while she was still alive. But I didn't say anything because who would believe me? Carol was playing the perfect caring daughter role. A few days later, Ruby asked to speak to me alone. She looked so frail in that hospital bed, but her eyes were still sharp. She asked if I was happy with the ring, and I said absolutely. Then she got quiet and said Carol had been asking about it. Ruby told me Carol claimed I'd mentioned wanting to sell it to help pay for wedding expenses, which was complete garbage. I would never sell that ring. But Ruby looked confused and hurt, like maybe she was starting to doubt giving it to me. I could have explained everything right then, told Ruby about Carol's phone call, but something stopped me. Maybe it was seeing how tired Ruby was, or maybe I was just being stubborn. Instead, I just said the ring meant everything to me, and I'd never part with it. Ruby nodded, but I could tell she was torn. Over the next week, Carol kept dropping hints about family heirlooms and proper inheritance. She even brought Emma to visit, making sure to mention how Emma had always admired that specific ring since she was little. The pressure got worse. Other family members started giving me looks. Whispered conversations stopped when I walked into rooms. Carol had somehow made me the villain without saying anything directly. Then Ruby asked for the ring back. Not permanently, she said, just to clean it and have it appraised for insurance purposes. But I knew what was really happening. Carol had gotten to her. I looked at my dying grandmother and said no. The ring stays with me. Ruby's face crumpled, and I felt like the worst person alive. But I couldn't let Carol win. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Ruby's expression. So I went back to the hospital at 6 in the morning. Ruby was awake, staring out the window. I sat down and told her everything. About Carol's phone call, about the lies, about how Carol was manipulating her when she was most vulnerable. Ruby listened without saying a word. When I finished, Ruby was quiet for a long time. Then she reached for my hand and squeezed it. She said she'd suspected something, but wasn't sure if her medication was making her paranoid. Ruby died 2 weeks later. At the funeral, Carol made a scene about the ring, said I was disrespectful and greedy. She demanded I give it to Emma as Ruby would have wanted. But here's the thing. Ruby had updated her will that last week. She left me the ring officially, along with a letter explaining why. She also left Carol exactly $1 and a note saying she knew about the manipulation attempts. Carol's face when the lawyer read that part was priceless. Emma looked embarrassed and apologized to me later. She said she never asked for the ring and didn't know what her mom was doing. The best part? Ruby had the ring appraised that final week. It's worth $22,000, not $15,000. She also left instructions that if anyone in the family contested her will, they'd get nothing from her estate. Carol tried to contest anyway. She got nothing. Emma got Ruby's pearl necklace instead, which she actually wanted more than the ring. And I still wear Ruby's ring every single day, knowing she truly wanted me to have it.